If you're thinking about making the move to Chattanooga, Tennessee, and you want to live in a golf community or on a golf course, then this video is for you. When it comes to golf or golf community living in the greater Chattanooga area, there really are two distinct ecosystems. You have the cloud courses or the courses up on top of the mountains, and then you have the courses in the valley. And there's a wide range of options in each of these categories. So in this video, we're going to rank the golf courses in Chattanooga on a livability index. We'll start with the lowest livability and we'll progress to the very best course in the area. So if you want to know what course that is, make sure to stick around. Okay, so the very first tier of golf communities we're going to talk about is tier 4, and we're considering this our outlier courses. These are courses that don't really fit into another category. So at number 11, we have the Montlake Golf Course on Mowbray Mountain. I would say that overall, this course is positioned as being a bit more of a rugged course. I've not personally played at this course. I have a few friends that have, and overall, they tend to describe it as being a fun course to go play at. It's not very serious. It's a little bit more casual. And I think with a cart, it's like $30 to go play. So it's relatively affordable, and this is open to the public. It's not a country club. In fact, it's kind of got this weird combo where it's partly a golf facility and then partly a rock climbing facility as well. So every time you pull up to the parking lot, you've got the people getting ready to go play golf, and then you've also got rock climbers loading up their bouldering pads and hiking out into the fields. They even host competitive bouldering events. So it's actually quite well known in the climbing community. In terms of the housing stock here, it's a bit eclectic and rural. So you have a lot of older homes built in maybe the 1970s and 80s. A lot of them are brick four sides. So you have a few mountain cabins up there. Along the brow, there are some really nice homes that have great views out over the valley. And from the right place, you can actually see all the way down Signal Mountain and catch glimpses of Lookout Mountain. And then sprinkled in and around the area, there are a few modern farmhouse style homes as well. I would say that overall, this is the perfect community for people that are not so serious at golf, but they enjoy the game. Or it's a great place if you're into climbing and you want to be in an area where you can consistently go out and practice. Okay, moving on to the next place, we've got the Cleveland Country Club, and I'm ranking this at number 10 in the greater Chattanooga area. This is a great full-service country club. You've got tennis courts, a pool, there's a great clubhouse, and the course is beautiful, but I just feel as if it's in the wrong location. The course is a classic Ellis Maples course. It's a great standalone institution. But when you purchase in the Cleveland Country Club, you're really buying into the Cleveland suburbs. You're not so much buying into a golf community there. It's not gated. You're buying more into a upscale suburban area surrounding a golf course if you decide to move over there. I would say the main drawback with the Cleveland Country Club is its location, and that if your social life and if your daily life centers around being in downtown Chattanooga, then your commute is going to be pretty significant to get down there. I made an entire video about the trade-off of living in Cleveland, especially if your life revolves around being in Chattanooga. So if you want to know more about that, I would encourage you to check out that video. But there is a real logistical time tax with living all the way out there. I'd say that for the most part, the housing stock surrounding the golf community there is built up of larger brick homes. You've got some mid-century modern in there. A lot of the housing stock is a little bit older, but it's been really well maintained. Ranked at number 9, we have the Honors Course. Now, in full transparency and all fairness, this is probably the best golf course in the greater Chattanooga area. But in terms of housing stock and being able to live around it or even access the course, this is probably the least accessible course in the area. The course was founded in the 1980s by Coca-Cola bottling heir Jack Lupton. It was designed by Pete Dye, and it's famous for its difficulty and natural aesthetic. It's hosted numerous amateur championships, including the recent U.S. Amateur in 2025 and the NCAA championships. So this is not a country club. There's no pool, there's no neighborhood, there's no bustling social calendar for the kids and the family to come enjoy. This course is essentially built for the obsessive golf enthusiast, for the person that is really a golf purist. It's more of a second course for the ultra wealthy in the area, and it pulls members from a very broad area. From what I've heard, they have quite a membership list there. Now, the course is invite only, and I've heard that it's quite expensive to be a member there. I've been on the property once back years ago when I was in college. I was just driving along the road where the main entrance is for the course, and the gates were wide open, and I just decided to drive in and take a look at the clubhouse and all of that. So I drove up, took a look. I kind of looked out over the course and then left. I didn't want to get in trouble or cause a scene or anything. I just wanted to see it. It's such a pristine and beautiful area. If the chance ever comes up, I would love to go play or just ride along with anybody that is playing there. We're giving that course a rank of number 9, just based on its livability and accessibility to that course. In terms of the actual quality of the course and playing there, it's kind of known as being the undisputed number 1 course in the area. It's just very difficult to gain access. So let's move on to our next tier of rankings, tier 3. We've got our growth and value plays in this section. So ranked at number 8, we've got the Winstone Golf Community. I would say that overall, if you're looking to live in a gated golf community in the Chattanooga area, this is probably the best bang for your buck. It's a very social and very active community. I would say that this course is a great everyman course in terms of the neighborhood and community. The course actually sits right on the Tennessee-Georgia line. So half of the community is in Georgia and half of the community is on the Tennessee side. The majority of the housing stock in there was built in the late 1990s and early 2000s. So you have a lot of brick going on. There's a little bit of mid-century architecture in there as well. And then sprinkled about the community, there are some new construction builds as well on lots that just stayed empty throughout the process of building out the rest of the neighborhood. Now, this community is fairly dense. The fairways wind fairly close to people's houses. So if you live right on the golf course and you have a fairway view, you're probably going to have golf balls come through your screen and porch or through your windows. That is definitely a possibility if you've got a fairway view. So this is the window tax of living in there. One more thing to mention with living right on the Tennessee-Georgia border, you do have to consider paying state income tax if you live on the Georgia side of the border. If you're just on the Tennessee side, that's not a consideration. Tennessee has no state income tax, but Georgia does have a state income tax. So that's something to consider if you're looking at homes in the area, is the income tax equation. Ranked at number 7, we have the Ooltewah Club, and this is the real turnaround story in golf communities in the Chattanooga area. So a number of years ago, the course changed ownership, and since then it has been improved significantly. So there's a bit of a misconception when it comes to the housing stock in the Ooltewah Club. So there are actually 4 communities or 4 neighborhoods that border on the Ooltewah Club. Hampton Creek is where the actual clubhouse and restaurant and pool is. This is kind of a mid-level neighborhood in the area. You have smaller single-family homes in here from the 500s, maybe the high 400s, and then you have some larger estates all the way up into the $1 million range in this community. Right next to it, you have the Hamptons. So the Hamptons, it's not a gated community. It's on the golf course though, and you have duplexes and some single-family homes in there. Then you have Hampton Cove. This is a step up from both of the neighborhoods we've talked about. So the houses in here probably start in the 800s and go up into the low $1 million range. Then you have Hamptons on the Lake. This is the most prestigious neighborhood that is on the Ooltewah Club. There are a number of lakefront homes in here, and I would say that the most expensive homes in Hamptons on the Lake are probably worth north of $7 or $8 million, maybe more. Now, probably the average home price in there is closer to 1.3, 1.4 million, maybe a little bit more, maybe a bit less. It's going to depend if you're on the lake or if you're inland a little bit, but the houses in Hamptons on the Lake are very nice. I have a few friends and some family members that are members over at the Ooltewah Club, and they've really enjoyed it since it changed ownership. They have an indoor simulator that is open for use by the members. They also have one of the largest community pools in the area. They keep upgrading parts of the facility. I believe there are pickleball and tennis courts, and I think in the plans, I'm pretty sure that there are plans to put in a new cart barn with a gym on top of it. So you can pretty much have it all living in this community. Quick pause. This is an ad. So if you don't need help finding the perfect home in the Chattanooga area, then skip this part of the video. But if you are looking for help finding a home, then I would love to meet you. Over the past couple of years, I've helped several people make the move to the greater Chattanooga area, and I've got the reviews to back it up. So don't wing your move to the Chattanooga area. If you would like help, go ahead and book a call with me. You can do that by scanning the QR code here on screen or use the link in the description below. It takes less than a minute to set up, and hopefully we can save you hours, if not days worth of time. Let's get back to the video. Now we're moving to tier 2. In tier 2, we're talking about specific lifestyle matches when it comes to golf communities. At number 6, we have Council Fire. This is located in East Brainerd. I've played this course a number of times, and it is one of the better thought of golf courses in the greater Chattanooga area. Overall, it's thought of being a players club. Members of Council Fire tend to be a little bit more serious about the game. There is a clubhouse there with a restaurant. I believe there are tennis courts, and there is a swimming pool. I would say that overall this gets quite a bit of community involvement, but golf really is the star of the show at Council Fire. The majority of the housing stock in Council Fire are homes built in the 1990s, and they tend to be large brick homes on fairly generous sized lots. So the lots in there tend to be larger, they tend to be mostly flat, and there's quite a bit of space between homes. Now, one thing to note with this golf community as well is it is right on the Tennessee-Georgia border. So some of the homes are on Tennessee soil, some of the homes are on Georgia soil. And again, when you're deciding between which side of the border you want to live on, you have to take into consideration the income tax equation. I will say this though, the houses on the Georgia side of the border tend to be a little bit less expensive than the houses on the Tennessee side. So what people like about Council Fire is that the course is mostly flat. And so if you're a purist who wants to walk 18 holes, then this is probably the best course in the area for you. Ranked at number 5, we have one of the golf courses that is quickly making a name for itself, McLemore. Now, McLemore is up on Lookout Mountain. Specifically, it's in Rising Fawn, Georgia. You're about 30 to 45 minutes south of Chattanooga here. And really, I would say that the positioning of this course is that it is a destination luxury golf experience. There is a hotel up there. They have a great clubhouse with gorgeous views. It's called the Craig. I've been up there a couple of times just to eat breakfast. One time in the winter, we went up there, and as we were sitting up there was all this fog down in the valley below, and it was absolutely magical as the sun was coming up and melting that fog off of the ground. I think the best way to describe the housing stock in McLemore is that it is modern mountain housing. A lot of rugged timber accents. You have a lot of natural stone that's pulled from local areas. And then you've got large windows letting in tons of natural light. In terms of the courses, there are actually 2 golf courses at McLemore now. Both are absolutely stunning, but the newest one is actually gaining some national recognition as having one of the best holes in the country. I believe it's ranked in the top 40 now. So overall, the trade-off with McLemore is its distance from civilization. When you're up there at the golf community, you're at least 35 to 45 minutes from the nearest serious grocery store. There are a few smaller markets or maybe a Dollar General that's a little bit closer than that. To do any real grocery shopping, you're gonna have to drive at least 35 to 45 minutes from the golf community. So I'd say that overall in the Chattanooga area, McLemore is a perfect place to have a second home if you're enthusiastic about the game of golf. But if you have a daily commute, then it makes this area a little bit more difficult to live in. Coming in at number 4, we have the Signal Mountain Golf and Country Club. This really does feel like a hometown course. I would say that overall the Signal Mountain Golf and Country Club feels very unpretentious. It feels welcoming, and it feels like a great place to go and just enjoy the game. Also, if you live up on Signal Mountain and you want to plug into the social fabric of the community, this is a great way to do so. The club has a great pool. I believe there are pickleball and tennis courts there as well, and a nice playground. It really is part of the social heartbeat of the town of Signal Mountain. When it comes to the overall housing stock directly surrounding the club, you have brick ranchers, maybe starting in the low $400,000 range, all the way up to brow view homes that are probably going to cost you at least $1.5 million. So there really is a wide range of availability up there on Signal Mountain, and there's a bit of something for everyone. I'd say that the biggest trade-off with living up on Signal Mountain is the commute, or can be the commute. If you commute back and forth during rush hour, there is quite a bit of traffic on the main arteries that lead up to the top of Signal Mountain. Your commute is not nearly as bad as it would be living somewhere as far out as McLemore, but you're still going to have a commute trade-off. Now, the good thing to note is that there is a grocery store, there is a hardware store, there are a bunch of restaurants and coffee shops up on Signal Mountain itself, so you really can live up on the mountain without descending into the valley. If you want, all of your necessities are going to be right up there. Okay, moving to tier 1, the final tier of golf courses we're going to talk about in the greater Chattanooga area. These are the best courses in the area without question. So let's jump into these. First of all, ranking number 3, you have the Lookout Mountain Club. I would say that overall, when you think of this place, you think of old Chattanooga prestige. So the Lookout Mountain Club is actually a merger of 2 clubs. You've got the Fairyland Club, which was more of a social club. You had a pool, tennis courts, great views. And then you have the Lookout Mountain Club, which is all about golf. So these 2 clubs merged and they're now one entity. If you live up on Lookout Mountain, this is an excellent way to get involved in the community and to meet people who are also residents up there. One of the biggest advantages to being a member of this club is that being up on the mountain, you're about 5 to 8 degrees cooler up there than you are down in the valley. So when it comes to playing golf in the summer, you're going to really enjoy that. Now, there is a wide variety of housing stock surrounding the Lookout Mountain Club. You have historic stone homes, there's Tudor revival homes, you have some Victorian summer estates, there are Browview estates, there are some new construction homes up there as well. There really is a wide range of housing stock up there. You have cottages, you've got ranchers. There really just is a bit of everything. Now, because the area is so geographically limited, living up there on top of the mountain, housing stock tends to move pretty quick, unless it's priced very high. Very high priced housing doesn't move as quick, but for the most part, in general, housing is going to move fast in that area. I would say that overall, this area is best for those old soul buyers who value architecture and history over open floor plans and maybe having a perfectly modern, convenient home. Ranking at number 2, we have the Chattanooga Golf Country Club. This is ranking at number 2 in the Riverview area. Overall, being a member at this club is really a status symbol. Now, it's a great club. It's beautiful. It's right along the river, but the club is very prestigious and there are lots of people that want to be members there. Overall, the surrounding area feels very formal, it's traditional, and it's exclusive. This is the highest priced, most expensive zip code in the greater Chattanooga area. So when you buy into the Riverview neighborhood, you're not necessarily buying a home on the fairway. You're buying somewhere that has close access to downtown, that has close proximity, that is walkable, that potentially has a river view or views of Lookout Mountain. You're buying somewhere that is historic, but also commands that price. I would say the overall price range in this neighborhood is going to be between 2 and 5 million. You might be able to find some outliers on either side of that. If you find something cheaper than that, it probably needs work. A lot of my favorite restaurants and things to do in Chattanooga are within walking distance of this neighborhood. So you have Coolidge Park, Renaissance Park. You've got access to the Greenway from there as well. You can cross either the Walnut Street Bridge when that is open or the Market Street Bridge and get onto the Greenway. And there are so many great restaurants. You're also very close to amazing grocery stores. You've got Whole Foods and Publix right there. So this is an incredibly convenient location to live. Now we're going to move on to the number 1 ranked community, golf community in the greater Chattanooga area. This is my opinion. This is what I believe. I believe it is the Black Creek Club. I wrestled with this a little bit when coming up with this list, but I really do think that the Black Creek Club is the number 1 option for most people that want to play golf, that want to have country club access, that want the pool, that want the gym, that want the pickleball courts, the tennis courts. Great experience for the family. That's what Black Creek is about. It really is a total package. So when it comes to Black Creek housing stock, I would describe Black Creek as being dynamic, polished, and resort-like. The clubhouse is really more like a social center or a social hub for members of the community. In terms of the housing stock that's available, you have modern craftsman homes in the community. And so these homes are going to start in the mid $500,000 range and go all the way up into the multi-million-dollar range at the high end of the community. You really do have everything from lock and leave townhomes all the way up to custom estates in the past, which is the newest phase of the community. What's great about Black Creek is you have a fantastic golf course, a short commute to downtown, and really all of the amenities that you could want in a golf community. It's modern, it's curated, and it's frictionless. Let me know what you think of these rankings, and if you think I messed anything up here, I tried to rank these on livability for the average person. Now, just because I ranked Black Creek as being the number 1 course in the area, that doesn't mean it's the best option for you. So if you're thinking about making the move to Chattanooga and you would like help finding the perfect home, please reach out to me. I would love to walk you through finding the right community for you. You can get in touch through the link in the description below or scan the QR code here on screen. If you made it this far in the video, YouTube thinks you might like some of these videos here. I make all kinds of content about what it's like to live in the greater Chattanooga, Tennessee area. So go ahead and check those out. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.